Hello and welcome to my TPOT prediction as a TPOT 6 Part 2. Part 1 did really well, so I'm doing a Part 2. This is the elimination order so far. However, these 16 were up for rejoin. We got a total of 33 votes. The ones with 0 votes are Saw, Cloudy, Price Tag, Barf Bag, and Bell. Everyone else at least got 1 vote. The one with 1 vote are Baldy, Rocky, Bottle, Clock, Melee, and Pie. These are our top 5. Eggy isn't joining with 2 votes, Lining isn't joining with 3 votes, and Tennis Ball isn't joining with 4 votes. Remote and Fries are our top 2. People voted Remote because of her text-to-speech voice, while people voted for Fries because they wanted to see the Fries and Puffball dynamic we saw in TPOT 5. And the one rejoining is Fries with 10 votes. Remote stays eliminated with only 8 votes. Moving on to TPOT 11, we're at the final 28 with now Fries back in, so it's time for a new phase. 4 teams of 7, and these are the teams. There could only be a maximum of 3 of your original members on your team. This is to avoid the teams being basically exactly the same. Coiny would have the same idea he had in TPOT 1 with Donut to make Woe Bunch back together, but this time get all of the members of Woe Bunch except for Donut onto the same team. For Golf Ball's team, she would get TV again, and also Robot Flower because they're mechanical minds. Basketball and Snowball will actually follow with Robot Flower onto the team, which would annoy Golf Ball, and I think Winner and Pillow would just join because I don't know really else to put them. For Tree's team, him, Black Hole, and Marco would stay on the same team. I think Ice Cube would actually join to thank them for helping her in TPOT 4. I think Grassy would join because Tree and Grassy are similar. Pen and Eraser would join, but Eraser would actually switch teams because he doesn't like preventing death. And Book would actually join the last minute, and so we can have some Book and Ice Cube conflict. And the last 7 were just put on this team because I didn't know where else to put them. So moving on to the challenge, I think the first team to lose will be Golf Ball's team. I think Golf Ball and Basketball would argue throughout the entire challenge, trying to see who will be the team leader, and it'll cause them to lose. So moving on to the elimination. The first one safe I think will be Snowball, followed by Pillow, and lastly Golf Ball. The final 4 is actually really hard to determine who will be eliminated. I think Robot Flowers and TV's fanbases will be on the decline by now, and they might have to split votes. Winner doesn't do much, and Basketball just doesn't seem to get many votes as often. I think she'll be safe due to the conflict with Golf Ball. I think Winner will most likely be safe as well. The bottom 2 are Robot Flower and TV. I think by now people actually realise how bland TV is, and I don't see Robot Flower do much throughout these episodes. And the last one safe is TV. So Robot Flower is the first one eliminated for this phase. And the second team losing is Tree's team. I actually think there'll be 2 conflicts during this episode. The first one between Book and Ice Cube. I think Ice Cube will bring up how Book just keeps trying to avoid what happened during BFB, and is acting like it never happened and hasn't said sorry to Ice Cube yet. The second conflict I think will actually be between Pen and Black Hole, from what happened during TPOT 2 when Black Hole was trying to destroy IOK's stack. So the first ones safe are definitely Marker and Tree. I think Ice Cube and Book will actually be safe as well, because people won't actually want to see their conflict continue on. The bottom 3 are Grassy, Pen, and Black Hole. Grassy hasn't done anything literally at all since TPOT started, and is probably losing a lot of votes by now, and is only able to get safe before from being on a team with unpopular members. But now he's on a team with mainly everyone's popular or is going through an arc right now, so Grassy would actually suffer a lot from this. Also, Pen and Black Hole will probably have to split votes from this, because people will probably take sides in their conflict, and people are probably getting sick of them by now. The one most likely safe here is Pen, because Razor isn't on his team anymore, so you want to split votes with him, and he also has a massive fan base. This might have some bias towards it, but I think Grassy will actually get eliminated. I think the only reason why Grassy got by before was being on a team with very unpopular characters, but now, as we saw in TPOT 6, Grassy had a massive drop off in votes when put up with IOK, which has some popular characters. And now this time is up for elimination with a lot of popular characters. But now, a lot of characters have gotten more screen time and have gone through arcs. Well, Grassy has done the exact same thing for over 10 episodes, and people are getting very sick of him now. So I think Grassy will actually get eliminated. Okay, it took a long time last time, so I'm actually going to go speed through this as fast as I can. The first team losing is Coiny's team. The first one safe is Yellowface, followed by Teardrop and Coiny. The bottom 4 are Bommy, Nickel, Pin, and Needle. Right here, it's actually really hard to determine who will get out. A lot of these characters haven't done much, except for Needle, which I actually think will be safe. Now the bottom 3 is where it really gets hard to determine who's out. Nickel and Bommy had a very good episode in TPOT 6. However, I don't think they'll have anything really major since then. And Pin is just really bad. And unless Pin goes through another arc, maybe like realizes she was wrong or is treating everyone horrible, maybe she'll be safe. But if that doesn't change, she'll probably end up getting herself out. And she'll have to split votes as well with Woe Bunch members. Mainly Teardrop, Coiny, and Needle. And that's why I think Needle will actually be safe, because a lot of people will split off to save her instead of Pin. And also, in Teapot 3 when they lost, Pin was the first one safe. However, Thaw, who got the least votes, was around 600 votes gap between Pin and Thaw, which isn't actually that much. So it's not like Pin has a massive fan base backing her up. And by now, if she hasn't changed, she's going to be very hated and is losing a lot of fans. This has a high chance at being wrong, but if Pin doesn't change, I think she will actually get eliminated here. Unless Pin goes to an arc or changes, she won't be surviving that long as people think she would be. The second team losing is Golf Ball's team. Let's go very fast. Golf Ball, Snowball, Basketball, and Pillow are all safe. The bottom 2 are Winner and TV. Winner is losing relevancy by now, and TV is now kind of mostly seen as bland, and has really no one else to talk with because Robert Flower's eliminated. TV is kind of obviously out here. He doesn't do any much anymore. Without Robert Flower, he's kind of pointless to have there. By now, I think Fries will have gotten enough screen time, and I think his team will lose now. Fries and Puffball will kind of obviously be the first one safe. I think Eraser will also be safe, because I think he'll actually join in with Puffball and Fries, messing up the other teams, because that's why he kind of does a teardrop. So I think he'll actually join in, and we'll actually get a lot of new fans from that. And I think he'll also be safe. Also, Donut will probably be safe, and lastly Fanny, because Fanny actually has a lot of fans. Gady and Cake are kind of most obvious bottom 2 out of these 7, and it's kind of really hard to actually determine who's out here, because they don't do that much. They do have their fans, but not as much as anyone else on the team. But I think that Gady will probably survive over Cake. The second team to lose is Coiny's team. I think Eraser, Puffball, and Fries will actually cause their team to lose, so they'll lose the second time. Yellowface, Coiny, Teardrop, and Needle are all kind of obviously safe. The bottom 2 are Bommy and Nickel. It isn't that really much to say here, so I'm just going to say that Nickel is out and Bommy survives. I think Bommy would get more votes for being the first ever recommended character and always dying, while Nickel probably won't do much anymore. The first team losing this time is Fries' team. I'm not going to drag this along. Gady is kind of obviously out. She doesn't do much anymore. The second team losing is Golf Ball's team. Snowball, Pillow, and Golf Ball, obviously safe. The bottom 2 are Basketball and Winner. Basketball kind of just here because everyone's more popular than her, but she might get some votes from Golf Ball for being on the same team. Winner by now is probably losing a lot of votes. It's been a while since he debuted, and his debuted votes are probably all gone by now, and doesn't do much since Clock's out. I think the last one safe is most likely Basketball. I think people will probably spam for Basketball to be safe, and Winner will kind of ironically lose. Moving on to the last episode of this phase, the first team up for elimination is Tree's team. Tree and Marker are obviously safe. I think Pen and Black Hole will also be safe. The bottom 2 are Book and Ice Cube. By now, I think their arc would have concluded, so they wouldn't get as many votes as of last time. That's why I made their team wait so long to lose again, so the Book and Ice Cube arc could actually conclude. I think the last one safe is Ice Cube. I think Ice Cube will get a lot more fans as these episodes go on, due to her new voice. Well, Book I don't think will be doing much after this arc. I think the reason why people voted her to be saved before was wanting to see what would happen between Book and Ice Cube. And now that it's been resolved, there isn't really a point to keep Book anymore. So I think Book will get out. So the last team losing in the team phase is Coiny's team. It's kinda obvious who's gonna get out here. That is Bonnie. The other three, Coiny, Teardrop, and Yellowface, they're all popular characters and will get a lot of votes. And Needle has done a lot in these episodes, and I actually see her gaining a lot of fans during this time. So I think Needle will actually survive over Bonnie, even when I have to split votes. I think Needle will still survive. We are now down to the final 18, and it's now time for the merge. Before we see who's up for elimination, I think there'll actually be a debut, that being the Exiters. I think by now they would have escaped and would have tried to join TPOT, and we pulled for voting to see which one would join. Out of the 10, Pencil, Braceley, and Lai are kind of the obvious top 3 here. People would vote Pencil because she's one of the OG 20 contestants and was also the first one eliminated in BFB. People would vote Braceley because they wanted to see Ice Cube and Braceley interact. And finally, people would vote Lai because they think she was robbed and they really like her character. I think 2 would do a twist and have 2 people join, so being even 20 contestants going into the merge. I think the 2 joining would be Pencil and Lai. I don't have much else to say, so let's move on. For the merge, the bottom third will be put up for elimination, those 7 being Pen, Marker, Ice Cube, Coiny, Donut, Golf Ball, and lastly Fanny. So the ones safe are Marker, Coiny, Golf Ball, and Pen. The bottom 3 are Donut, Fanny, and Ice Cube. For Ice Cube, people would have gotten used to her voice now, and because Book is gone, people wouldn't vote her as much. The only reason why I have Donut in the bottom 2 is because he hasn't getting that many screen time in the recent episodes. That might just because of Pin and Coiny, so on his new team or during the merge, he might get more screen time. I don't know though. And for Fanny, people are just getting sick of her saying she hates everything by now. And the last one safe is Donut. So Fanny and Ice Cube are the first ones eliminated in the merge. We've now reached the end of this part. These are all the contestants that are left. This is the elimination order as of TPOT 17. Please leave any criticisms you have down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and see you guys in part 3.